Delicious French baguette.
Hello everyone, Connor Whitmore here again with another video for you on the Nawtystep channel, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about the new EP from Asora released on Circus Records, Comatose. Here we are, a new 4-track collection from Asora, his first since Guided Wandering from June 2018. An EP which constituted as a good introduction to his sound for most, and what he was about, if you will, but which on reflection I think lacked or lacks in important ways. Melodies, introductions generally, the structure of his tunes, the background touches, all on point, but for the most part, the drops fall flat in idea and execution. However, those were the early days, I wasn't expecting all that much, and following Guided Wandering, he started to pick up on his ideas a bit. Singles like Tongues of Fire, Nucleus, Flow, all with their own hints of brilliance, also playing his part in collaborations with Ulasile and Chime, so there was a real sense of him moving up in the dubstep and bass world generally. It's been a year and a half or so of steady growth for him, gradually showing signs of improvement all the time. Yet still my curiosity lay in whether he could do that over the stretch of an EP, matching the melodic side, the powerful introductions, all of that, with statement-making drop ideas. And whilst the production on Comatose has evidently improved tenfold from Guided Wandering, on the ideas front, I'd say the improvement isn't quite as drastic. The closer, Breaking Free for example, in essence a more drawn out, slower paced number to take the EP down a notch at the end. Also Mile and Away, the longest tune we get here, but the dubstep provides quite a glaring contrast that I'm not sure fits well alongside the other sections we get. The first drop is quite startling and repetitive and not developing all that much, not quite beefed up enough on the production as well. Do you see what I mean? I definitely appreciate the way it slams in initially, but it isn't the kind of idea that can hold its own across a whole sequence without variation. And the second drop, whilst I love the muffled guitar fake out, the high-pitched skittish stabs are very bright and colourful, again, initially brilliant. And it's a great idea as a switch up from the first, but once more hardly develops that idea at all. Similar to the first, just needs more to it. Similarly empty sounding, production-wise, at least on the heaviness front, is Self-Sabotage with Millennial Trash, formerly known as Reflect. An interesting trap-dub combo, but again, not quite enough going on, not that substantive, and feels quite airy. See what I mean? Just feels a bit skeletal, but I must say the quick vocal interjections in each drop are sublime. Oh, so good! Sandwiched in between those two, we have track 3, Coma, a definite example of him bringing the EP to life on the heaviness front. The first drop here, which kinda comes out of nowhere in a good way, following a sneaking introduction, is some of the most fresh melodic riddim I've heard yet. Percussion is super punchy, synths are glacial, heavenly, euphoric, and I love how the second drop has a little bit more bite to it than the first one. But again here, however, we do have a thing of the main idea not quite evolving or mutating enough. The initial impact and force of the sound is brilliant, but the novelty of it wears quite quickly, even becoming a little bit overbearing over time. For me, the best match of idea and execution when it comes to the heaviness here would have to be the opener with Trilogy, Self-Love. The two main drops are a very accurate representation of their conjoined styles, that glowing Asora flavour and the thick Trilogy backdrop, each drop hitting very hard. The ideas don't do a lot, but I think the constancy I find more appealing here than the other tunes because the sound is a bit more rounded and enough touches on top as well. The blending of styles is perhaps most evident though in the middle or double drop, the squeals from Asora shining through with the very matter-of-fact stabs from Trilogy underneath. Again, not an amazing idea, but I think the clearest evidence of them working in tandem. Oh, Those Trinergy stabs, man. So yeah, not mad positive on the ideas with the heaviness, but as we all know, Asora's music extends far beyond that, and Comatose is no different. This collection, for me anyway, being another case of his production and ideas excelling most in the areas surrounding the drops. Every introduction, for example, is beautiful, time-stopping, captivating in its own way. Sticking with Self-Love, a lovely, lovely way to open the EP. The very sweet marimba, a staple of his production, of course. It's enchanting, pretty, and yeah, just really, really nice. Introducing us also to its main vocal, the first half of which I'm not huge on. The second half, though, is completely heart-melting. Ooh. Nah. Oh yeah! Following that, Self-Sabotage also opens up with a fantastic vocal. This one more far-reaching, emotional, pure, and it fits the instrumental perfectly. The beginning of Coma is quite brief, as I mentioned, but I think that reflects what the track is about, that thing of waking suddenly. And the heart rate sample in the first few seconds is tops. Then to finish, the slower delivery of Breaking Free is welcomed at that point. Very dreamy, especially with Joe Garrett's enduring vocal. On the note of vocals, many well-deployed samples across the EP, loving the exclamation before the second drop of Self-Love, for example. But my favourites arrive on Coma, where the samples are particularly well suited to the theme of the track, its approach, what it's about. Before the first drop we get Wake Up, before the second drop we get Welcome to the Awakening, and at the end we get I Am Awake. All entirely fitting for the story of this tune, which is another avenue of appreciation that he provides for Comatose overall. Because where this EP is a little bit more special than most in EDM, especially in dubstep, is that he has provided a story or a bit of context for every tune here. Coma is about his awakening as a person, feeling asleep in himself before waking up. So again, those samples I just mentioned become very relevant. The slower paced closer, Breaking Free, is about letting go of the bad past, moving on to what's ahead, which I think can be felt through the music, but perhaps most importantly through Joe Garrett's vocal. He talks about distancing himself from that bad side, like it was a toxic other half. Self-Love is about our mistreatment of self-love, how it turns into being quite self-centered, and the topsy-turvy nature of the tune, from the vocal to the drops and back again, I think reflects that quite well. The only one I'm not so sure about is Self-Sabotage, which is about pleasure-seeking taking over. I think the drops could have done with being a bit more devilish to match that idea. But a great thing for him to have done to reveal another layer to the EP and make us see it in a different way and understand him and his music and the relationship between those two things more. Couple other little things here. I like how the main vocal in Self-Love is made into a cute piano melody. It plays an important role in that tune generally, I would say. And I touched on it earlier, but the everlasting presence of marimba in his music, I absolutely love it, just so pleasant on the ear. If I ever see you talking shit about the marimba, I'ma smack you up. But overall, I'd have to say Comatose is an EP of definite and significant improvement, but also similar problems and issues for Asora. The structure of his tunes, fantastic, the melodic side on point, intros and sampling great, the general production level is far better as well, which extends into the heaviness, but I'm not feeling a whole lot of invention here. The sound is much improved, but the ingenuity only a little. I listen to this EP and just feel like there's some mad ideas waiting to be let loose. The potential with his style is massive. You can interpret the lack of development here with most drops as being the appeal, the repetition of it, delivering hit after hit of what we get. But to me it listens more like wanting to be something more, wanting to push the boundaries further but not being quite sure how to do so. You do then have all the excellence surrounding the drops though, so Comatose, it's quite the balancing act. And whilst it may be easy to say this, I think more than most I feel like I'll enjoy it more over time. And yeah, more than anything, I'm excited to see how it grows on me no doubt. Now, in terms of my favourite on the EP, then I think I would have to go with the opener, Self Love with Trinergy, the most complete in feel. My favourite drops on the EP. It's emphatic, to the point, a clear collaboration, and a lovely vocal. A lot to it. And for recommendations, if you enjoyed the EP, then I would look at his old stuff to notice the improvement, then Chime, Xylan, and a host of other stuff from the Rushdown label. But there we have it, guys. My thoughts on the new EP from Asora, released on Circus Records, Comatose. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching. But what did you guys make of Comatose? Do you have a favourite tune from the four? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, then be sure to give it a big old thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell along the way so you can be notified whenever I upload a new video to the channel, and my social media accounts are linked in the description box down below. And also, if you want to see some other EP reviews on the channel, I will link them right here. And lastly, if it's naughty, then you know, guys, so be sure, as always, to keep it naughty and stay safe. And I shall see all of you legends in the next one. Asora, Comatose, Circus Records EP review. Peace out.